You know, I got a phone call one day, and the fellow said, look, Ken, that idea I had, yeah. He said, I got great news. I said, what is it? He said, I got a contract. Good. He said, I got some bad news. I said, what's that? He said, I don't know what to do about it. So I guess what I'm going to ask is, don't I need people around me that know something, that can advise me? Do I need counseling? What kind of people should I have around me? What kind of advice should I be looking for? I'm a creator. I've got an idea. What now? Diane, what happens when you run across these folks?
Well, I recommend a couple of things. One is the ecosystem is full of support organizations, and you can enter any door, whether it's SBDC or signing up for the GLEQ competition, or going to your Smart Zone or your Center for Entrepreneurship at the university. Any of those doors will get you into the ecosystem and help connect you with other resources. But the other thing that I recommend to startups is become involved with your industry associations, because if you're in life sciences or you're in IT or whatever, you can really get a lot of help and support from other people that understand that industry and have contacts in that industry. Business organizations, membership organizations like Automation Alley is an excellent choice too. They have a lot of technology ventures, companies that are established in their industry that are members. And when you get involved with your industry, you can really get a depth of understanding that you can't get just through general business practices. But you really need both as a startup, because you need to understand how you start a business and all the different disciplines that are involved in that, and you need to make connections in how you grow a business and how you get funding. But don't skimp on understanding your industry as well, because there will be people that are investing in a particular industry, and if you have a depth of knowledge and connections within the industry, that will be very helpful to you.
Does somebody running a seed company listen to the advice they get? I'd like to know your reaction to that, because I've got one. Paul, what did you say?
I think one of the best resources, the first resources people go to, are the small business development centers. That's where people can receive free advice. And I usually recommend first find out if the person you're talking to has built a successful company and exited, and that's why they're there helping you. I mean, that's the best type of advice you can get. Now, you don't have to listen to their advice necessarily. You don't have to listen to anyone's advice. But if good mentors are hard to come by. We have more in the state because we have mechanisms to support them through the universities and through the smart zones. But if someone feels like their advice is not being heeded, they're going to kind of feel like they're wasting their time. And even the Small Business Development Center will fire you as a client if you don't follow their advice, because their purpose is to make sure that companies get funded. They're measured on, are companies are they getting money? Are they getting venture capital? Are they getting angel investments? Are they getting bank loans? And that's how they're valued in terms of are they doing a good job or not. So if you are wasting their time and not making progress and not listening to advice, then that's a bad thing. Fortunately, I would say most of them do, but most.
Sia, you have a comment?
Yeah, so, during our tenure, we had a lot of people who would come to us, and we did a couple small acquisitions, and we always respected the people who knew what they knew what they didn't know, and knew when to ask for help. And we'd say that's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And the people who, kind of sat back and said, I know everything, you're not going to be very receptive to helping them out, and nor are you going to be very motivated to help them out. And I think Paula made a good point in the fact that, you can take it's just an opinion at the end of the day. I don't know anything more than, some other people, but at the end of the day, listen, and make those decisions from there, but certainly.
Yeah. I think the feedback to all of you is to be coachable and, take advice. We talked about a lot of the resources that are out here and that exist for you. And I think the reality is you have to kind of take a step back and realize that there's no stake in the game for some of us up here. We're not equity owners of your company. We don't have any, maybe not a lot of the time or energy or passion, that you all have on your ideas and your concepts. we're here to help you, and we're here to try and give you the best advice that we can give you based on lessons that we've learned, based on companies that we've seen come through, based on those different types of things. So even though we aren't owners in your company, you better believe we think about you guys all the time. I know we've worked with a lot of you out in the crowd, and, you know, we're behind you, and so outside opinions, you know, take them or leave them, but, you know, stop, think about it for a minute, and, you know, realize that people are there if you're coachable and willing to take some of the advice and think through some of the pieces.
Ken?
Well, you know, I began by saying I think the market's real different today than it was even 5-10 years ago. And one of the forces of no capital has been the drive to push startups to customers faster. I think most of you may be familiar with the lean startup literature, but it's also reflected in the I-Corp boot camps. The ability to go out and talk to a customer doesn't begin with the production of your product. It begins with your dream. And you can go out and talk to purchasing agents or targeted customers, and they love to share opinions. And you can learn a great deal about where you want to go and how you want to go there by having those open conversations with customers. So I think it's actually one of the benefits that this lack of capital has done is it's changed the nature of startups, and they go to market much, much faster. The idea of being able to go to full production and into markets in 3 to 5 years was unheard of if you talk to big commercial development processes or university commercialization. But you guys are proving a new paradigm for us, and it's exciting. I think going to customers faster is really the best advice, or the people you want to get the best advice from.
Diane, I saw you shaking your head over there.
Well, I agree with everything that has been said here, and I think Ken's making a very good point about the customer discovery angle. You will be so much farther ahead, even when you get an investor, if you take your business as far as you can without one. And one of the nice things about our state having so many support services that are available to you is that you can get advice, you can get support for quite a long way before you have to actually get your investor in hand. And if you've done the customer discovery, if you've got customers lined up, talking to investors is a whole different thing than when you're talking to them just about your idea. So as far as you can go without any money is really the smart thing to do. And there are resources that help you get pretty darn far before you have to actually have somebody infuse your company with some real cash.